Hey guys, this is Third Generation Conjure. We are back with another video. We're going to be doing the sign of Aquarius. These are the 2020 Zodiac Tarot readings. So we're going to go ahead and get into the video. I do want to just give a background as I have in the previous videos. 2020, this is a year of devotion. It's a year of laying the groundwork for, you know, any kind of thing that you want to expand in the future. So any kind of business, enterprises, relationships, you know, it's laying the groundwork and the foundation this year. And it's also a year where a lot of people are awakening. Okay, so, you know, I just like to give, you know, a background on, you know, 2020 in general. And if you don't know who we are a spiritual company. We specialize in supplies such as baths, powders, oils, candles. We also offer tarot readings on our site as well. But as always, I'm going to give a little background into the deck that I'm reading from. I'm reading from the Rider-Waite deck and also from the Well-Worn Path. This deck is more spiritual aspect, so we'll cover that as well. So if you give me a second, we'll go ahead and get started and we'll get into the video. All right, guys, give me a second. I'll get my ancestors and we'll be right back. All right, guys, so we're going to get started with the reading for Aquarius. So we're going to start with the present. And for the present, we have the Five of Pentacles, and we also have the Crescent Crown Goddess. Okay, so what the Five of Pentacles represents, it can represent a loss. It represents money loss. It can also represent spending excess of money or major purchases like buying a car, buying a house. It can also signify losses through theft. So that's something to be cognizant of. It also signifies ignoring your belief system or spirituality. If you look at this card, it looks like it's a couple who's down and out, and they're actually passing by a church. So that can also signify, you know, people who are on a spiritual journey who's leaving those ideals of, you know, Christianity or church. You know, no judgment on anyone who practices, you know, any kind of beliefs, but, you know, this is a card also signifying spiritual awakening. So there's going to be a lot of people presently who are in the process of spiritually awakening within this sign of Aquarius. Okay, so then we have the Crescent Crown Goddess. Okay, so what this card represents, it represents to maintain the vision of what you have going on. It also advises you not to let details deter you from your ultimate goal of what you what you got going on. Excuse me. And it's also a card of divine feminine energy and sexuality. Also womanhood and motherhood as well. And also it's a card with this one as well. It's a card for reassessment. So reassessment of your life, reassessment of your spiritual values. Okay. All right. So then next we have your challenges. So your challenges that are upcoming for this year. And we have the Five of Swords. And we also have the Maiden. Okay. So with the Five of Swords, what this represents is it's a card of deception. Okay. And it advises you know not to take things at face value. It can also signify in a work environment some challenges with change of management. In love, it normally signifies someone who's watching you, you know, not watching you in a stalkerish way, but someone who has their eye on you that has not got the courage or nerve to approach. So there may be some challenges arising in that. And with the Maiden card, this is all about energy. It's about new energy and limitless potential. It's a card of going from old ways into new ways. So you may have some challenges with that. Even as far as any kind of spiritual journey, you know, you may have, you know, some difficulties with that as well. Okay, so just keep that in mind. All right, so then next we're going to evaluate the underlying root. So the underlying root of everything that is influencing this year, and you know, what's going on this year for those in this sign of Aquarius. Okay, so we have the Two of Cups and we also have the Wand. So the Two of Cups is a card of commitment. It's a card of engagement in love relationships. It also signifies becoming more considerate of a significant other. It also represents communication and also can represent colleagues or, you know, most so couples. It can also represent resolution or reconciliation. So there may be reconciliation with, you know, a significant other. All right. And with the wand is also a card of reconciliation. It's a card of energy. It's a card of manifestation. So as far as this concern, as far as the underlying root for this year, you guys need to pay attention to your energy. And you know, what you think is going to manifest within your life. Okay. All right. So the next aspect we're going to discuss is how you appear. So how most of those within this zodiac sign appears this year. And we have the Chariot and we also have Summerlin. Okay, so what the Chariot represents, the Chariot is about movement. It can also represent someone who is single-mindedness. It represents the drive to succeed and also determination and new beginnings. As far as spirituality, it can represent moving towards awakening as well. Okay, and as we previously stated, you know, with this card, you know, they're passing by a church, moving away from the church, moving towards a more moving towards spirituality versus religion. Okay. All right. And then with Summerlin, this card is a card of change. And with the Summerlin, it's change that is not optional. This card signifies new eyes that are able to see greater ways. It's moving towards new enlightenment. So as I stated, that's how a lot of you appear within this sign. A lot of people within this sign will be spiritually awakening this year. As I previously stated and did with Aries, it looks like more people in the sign of Aries and then the sign of Aquarius are going to be going through a spiritual awakening process this year. But, you know, that's not to say that you only have to be an Aries or an Aquarius, you know, to go through that process. Okay, so now we have the influence and aspects of what's going on this year. So we have the Four of Wands, and we also have the familiar spirit. Okay, so what the Four of Wands represents, it represents haven of refuge, a deserved rest, peace. It can represent buying a house, you know, so that may be an influence and aspect this year, putting it down on a house. It's a card of celebration and happy people. And with this card, this represents a meeting point, the need for middle connection. It's a middle point through which you connect to your desire. So, you know, enforcing and implementing that spirituality to get what you want and to manifest. All right. And it's also a representation of improved communication. So that may be an influencing aspect of this year. It may be that with a significant other or with a business partnership, improving communication across all lines. Okay. So then the next aspect we are going to talk about are your aspirations and concerns for this year. And for this, we have the Seven of Pentacles, and we also have the Greenman. Okay, so with the Seven of Pentacles, what this card represents is a waiting period. Okay, a waiting period in which your hard work will eventually pay off. It also represents finances taking a turn for the better. So that may be an aspiration for you. You know, if you had something going, you know, that seems like it's kind of stagnated, it's slow and steady process. So, you know, if you keep pushing, you know, it will pay off. That hard work will pay off. And also the card Greenman is a card of prosperity. So that's something that you're concerned with. It's something that you aspire. It's a card of growth and abundance and urges you to look to spirit and nature as a teacher. Okay, so then next we have your probable course. So the course that most within the zodiac sign will take as far as their year is concerned. And here we have the Page of Cups and we also have the old ones. Okay, so with the Page of Cups, this represents development. It can also represent psychic ability, which could be also a sign of spiritual awakening. It's also about emotional rebirth, and it is a water card, which is, that's the element of this zodiac sign. Okay, so this is a card of spiritual values as well, and being open about your feelings. With the old ones, this is an ancestor card. Okay, so it's all about rootedness and examining the foundation of your beliefs. It also can signify working with your ancestors. So if you haven't honored your ancestors, set up an ancestor altar, that would probably be a probable course for you to do this year, you know, to get what you need to accomplish as far as any kind of spirituality. Okay. All right. So then next we have your alternative course. So another course that you may take throughout this year. And for this one, we have the Emperor, and we also have the Harvest. Okay. So with the Emperor card, what this represents is influence, power. It's a man of power. It also advises you to act responsibly. And it does signify over dominance in relationships. So just be cognizant of that if you're more focused on monetary versus any kind of spirituality this year. Harvest, once again, is working hard. It's the fruits of your labor. You know, your hard work will pay off. If you continue to work hard, that's another course. It also represents matched energy returning. So the energy that you're putting out is the energy that's going to return to you this year. Okay, so next we have the outcome. And for the outcome, we have the Nine of Pentacles, and we also have the Key. Okay, so the Nine of Pentacles represents being self-sufficient. It represents money, success, property, and real estate matters. It also represents the capacity to be alone. So that could be solitude. It could be spiritual solitude. It could be solitude within your life. Just recognizing you know, how to be alone and appreciating that time. Okay, so then next we have the Key, and the Key tells us that there are tools available to your understanding. It's the revealing of hidden knowledge, revealing of the unseen, revealing of hidden truths as well, and it reminds you that you're the opener of your own ways. Okay. All right, so then next we have what could change your outcome. So, you know, if you keep your energy right and you keep on going down your spiritual path, if you've already embarked on it, you will have the Key. You will have the Key to open up your own ways, which will lead to also, you know, contentment, peace of mind, prosperity as well. You know, a lot of times when you're going through a spiritual awakening, before the process, you know, you're like, I need to find something to do. Even if it's to do with business, I need to find a business to make some money. But when you go through that awakening phase, you think of all kind of ways to make money. You have all kind of ideas spinning in your head. It's so many that you can't even contain it and you can't even process it. So, you know, just keep in mind, that's the Key. All right. So then what could change this outcome? So what could change this outcome of you making your own destiny, basically, and succeeding throughout this year? And here we have the Seven of Cups, and we also have Law of Three. Okay, so with the Seven of Cups, this is all about, this is a card of confusion, a card that represents lack of focus and disorganization. It also represents altered states, not paying attention to significant dreams. So, you know, if you are going through a spiritual awakening, not paying attention to signs from spirit and signs that you get. Okay. And with this card, this is the Law of Three. And this card reminds us that action and words create energy. So with that being said, even though I've stated this through my previous readings, you know, nothing is set in stone. Your energy is going to determine, you know, everything that you manifest within your life. All right. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Please like and subscribe to our channel. You can also follow us on Instagram at Third Generation Conjure. If you need any spiritual supplies or any personal readings, I have posted our Etsy link below. It is www.thirdgenerationconjure.store. You can also find us on Facebook at Third Generation Conjure. Thank you. Bye-bye.